Hey, Tim Stewart, aka Talk Man Talk, speaking to inspire. And I wanted to shoot a video regarding this vision that we've been kind of posting on social media called Tbar, stands for the Black American Revolution. Time to raise the bar. BAR, Black American Race. And that's kind of significant. There's a lot of racial tension and uneasiness and injustices, if you will, happening in America right now. And if we continue to do the same thing that we've always done and expect a different result, that's insanity. It's not going to happen. For the last 50 years, we've been voting and praying and marching and rallying, and things have gotten worse. And so Tbar is a vision that's designed to put some strategic initiatives in place to bring about change. So let me just give you the mission statement for Tbar. It is to set, achieve, and celebrate strategic nationwide initiatives for the unification, economic empowerment, and preservation of the Black American race. The vision statement is that we as a race of people network, joining our talents, abilities, and resources together, produce a unified power, making a mark in the minds of America, the world, and our future generations that cannot be erased. Let me start out by saying what Tbar is not. Number one, Tbar is nonviolent. Violence is not going to produce the change that needs to happen for Black Americans. It is non-religious. It is non-political. And it's not about Tim Stewart. I was given a vision, and because of things that I have gone through in my background, I certainly am well prepared to lead the charge. I've developed a very special set of skills and talents over the years that would allow me to be a positive impact in the success of Tbar. But certainly it is a unified effort. When we look at what's happening in Black America, it doesn't matter what you call it, T-bar, A-bar, B-bar. What's going to have to happen, there's going to have to be some unification, then some economic development, empowerment, and then preservation for the Black American race. Let's face it, America operates by the golden rule. And that's he who has the goal makes the rules, period. There's a movie that Al Pacino did called Scarface, and he said in that movie, in America, first you get the money and then you get the power. Nothing's changed. We've seen some very vivid examples of the power of unity in movies. One that I can think of is Oprah Winfrey and the Women of Brewster's Place, where they were separated from the city by a wall, and there was a lot of criminal activity on the other side of the wall, and the police couldn't get through. And at the end of that movie, those women came together and they tore that wall down brick by brick. It was the unity. And they were different types of people that came together for a common cause. And it benefited everyone. Denzel Washington and Malcolm X, when he had gone to the prison to visit one of the brothers that had been locked up and beaten real bad, when he came outside, all of his people were standing there at attention in uniform, and he pointed, and they all moved at the same time. And there was a police officer behind him that said, "That is too much power for one man." And a lot of times we focus on the power of one man. But what that police officer saw was everybody moving at the same time as power. And that's what it's going to take. I know I can remember listening to Dr. George Frazier, and he says, we haven't connected the dots. There's a lot of good programs spread across America that a lot of Black Americans are doing. But because they are not connected, the power or impact of them is kind of non-avoid. It doesn't have the impact that we need to bring about change. We have to connect the dots, and that's what Tbar is designed to do. So here's a high-level overview of how Tbar would actually kind of roll out. It has to be a process, and it has to start with these steps. Unification. As a race of people, we represent about 14% of the total population in America. That equates to about 35, 40 million people. So you just say a million, a small percentage of those people would come together and unite. And let me just give you some things about Tbar. The theme song for Tbar is Wake Up Everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Can't do anything about slavery. Can't do anything about them bringing black people over, Africans over on the boat. We have to look at where we are now and where we want to move forward. The number for Tbar is 8. Everything about Tbar is strategic. 8 is a representation of new beginning. That's what we need to do. And that's why we've used the word revolution. A lot of people associate revolution with violence, but Tbar is nonviolent. The actual meaning of the word revolution is radical change, and it's ongoing. We've had a lot of movements over the years, and they were segregated for different groups of people, different locations, and they were not effective. They didn't produce the results that was needed to change the condition and the climate for Black America. A revolution is a radical change, and it is ongoing. It can continue to grow. It continues to move on. So if you take a small percentage of 40 million, say a million people, and they say, hey, we want to be a part of the Tbar network, and we get those million people to support Tbar financially. Say they donate $8 a month. Well, that's $8 million. And we take those resources and we put it in a focus, one location, to rebuild one location. Where things are now didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to be fixed overnight. And what Tbar is designed to do is unite people and take the unification and put it in a focused effort. You can take a 100-watt light bulb and it'll light the whole room up. But you can take that same 100 watts of light and put it in a focused beam and it'll cut steel. So you take the resources of a million people, and let me just say this about Tbar. Tbar is not segregated to one group of people. It's not religious. It doesn't matter if a person is Baptist, Methodist, Buddhist, they don't believe in God. Doesn't matter where they live at. It doesn't matter what level they are in society. Everybody, like the song, everybody can be a part of Tbar, from the CEO in corporate America, the Black CEO in corporate America, to the hustler on the street. Everybody. It has to be a unified effort if we're going to make change. Because we're outnumbered. You know, people talk about voting. Voting can change things. Let's look at the numbers. White Americans represent 65% of the total population. Black Americans represent 14%. What that means is that if every black person in America, 14%, voted 3 times, we still wouldn't have enough vote to create change. Voting was created by white Americans for white Americans. And that's who it is going to benefit, is white Americans. I just call it like it is. I'm not prejudiced. I have some white friends that are dear to me. But I am partial to people who look like me. You know, cats meow with cats, and dogs bark with dogs, and eagles fly with eagles. It's okay for me to want to support black people and not have any hatred towards any other race. But if you look at the other races who make progress, they all employ the same principles: unification, economic empowerment, and then preservation. So you have 8 million people, $8 million, a million people donating $8 a month, peanuts. And you start in one location, say like St. Louis, Missouri. It's in the center of the country. And we established a restaurant, 8 locations. And you then go to Kansas City, Memphis, and you just start strategically building up these communities. Now you're creating jobs, you're creating revenue in the inner city. It has to start in the inner city. Washington, D.C. is not going to fix what's happening in the inner cities where the majority of black Americans live. Why? Because it doesn't benefit them. It benefits the politicians for the division to still be there. If you look at the 2010 census form, when it asked for race, the first option was white. The second option was black, African American, Negro. They didn't have, notice what it didn't have. It didn't have white, Caucasian, European American. It had one word, white. You can go look it up, just speaking the facts. But if once we have enough people with a united effort, focus in one location at a time, we will create change. And over the years, our future generations will benefit from what we're doing. You know, when I mentioned that everybody could be a part, I'm going to just give you an example. A CEO is in corporate America. He can't jeopardize his income. So people can become a part of the Tbar network anonymously. First name, last initial. They can support it. The CEO is not going to drive down to the inner city to eat at a restaurant in the inner city, but they can support it from their desk and donate $8. A brother that's hustling, and we don't endorse that, of course. He's hustling. He probably doesn't have a computer to support, you know, Tbar financially to donate $8, but he can take his posse to the restaurant. So he's playing a part. The woman the sister that may be stuck in prostitution, who understands how painful it is, and she wants to help make a change. So the next little girl doesn't have to get caught up in that. She can have her John take her to the restaurant to eat. She's supporting. The brother that's been locked down, who understands he made a mistake, but yet he's caught up in the system. He can still be a part of Tbar because he can help the younger brother coming in, help him understand how he can make a difference and change his life. One of the first initiatives of Tbar is to clean up all of the Dr. Martin Luther King boulevards across this country, picking up the paper. You know, I can remember when I was in the game, using drugs and alcohol. Any city I visited, I could always find crime activity on Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. We're going to change that. We're going to give that brother the respect and honor. And that's going to make a mark in the mind of America. When we start cleaning up Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, and it's being supported by every black American in the country. This is not rocket science. We can do this. So we take the revenue from I'm just saying, using a small percentage, 1 million people, $8 a month. We build the restaurants, and now we have people that look like us who are managing. We have revenue being generated in our communities that we can put back in our communities and set up programs, computer training programs, re-entry programs for ex-cons, drug addiction programs, single parenting programs. We can teach a new way. That's why the song Wake Up Everybody, it has all of the key components in it. And then as we teach this new way, we are preserving the black American race. Now, as these individuals make the change in their life, then it starts all over again. So now they are responsible, productive members of society, and now they can donate $8. And it's ongoing. It's a revolution. So I just wanted to give a high-level overview of what Tbar is about, what Tbar is not. If you want more information, just contact us. Reach out to us. We can't do it alone. It's going to take a unified effort. And Tbar is the solution. It is the solution, 100% absolutely guaranteed to produce positive results for the black American race. Hey, again, my name is Tim Stewart, a.k.a. Talk Man Talk, speaking to inspire. Tbar. Peace.